Hey everyone, Bill McRae here from ROI Marketing. I hope you're having just a fabulous day. Welcome into this glorious day down here in San Antonio, Texas. The springs here are amazing, really. I lived for many years, 40 years in California, and enjoyed a lot of amazing weather, especially the about half the time I lived in San Diego, and it was just unbelievable. So between the place I've lived, it's been glorious. But Texas is more my speed nowadays. I just kind of have a different take on the world than most of the people in California do. So my wife and I moved here. So ultimately, we want to retire someday, and this is a little bit more conducive to our faith and to our the type of lifestyle we want to live. Retire. We don't want to have to keep up with the Joneses and have to have a bigger boat or a faster car or whatever. So it is a much more comfortable place to live. So welcome to San Antonio. The purpose for this recording today is simply to talk a little bit about the difference between push and pull marketing. Now, I want to make sure you understand the difference because what ROI marketing system does is help you with the push marketing. What push marketing is the vendor putting the idea, or you as a reseller or a business promoting yourself overtly into the community, where pull marketing is you're there. Okay, let me describe the two and how I've used it in the past to make literally millions of dollars in revenue. An example of pull marketing is I don't want to spend any money on internet marketing because my business is on Google, and if somebody searches my name, will pop up. And even if they search for my type of product I sell in San Antonio, if I type in dental office, it will pop up. Okay, that's great. Now, if somebody wants something or needs something, they're a pretty qualified lead. And when they search for something, they're probably going to make a buying decision. That's the logic that goes on in terms of pull marketing. The consumer, comes to looking for you. So remember when back in the, most of the existence of of mankind, retail sales or sales of any sort really came down to one of two things. I remember my dad said location, location, location. We owned a grocery store back in the 50s before I was even born. And then we owned a greenhouse in Montana. And it was always location, location, location. That's a perfect example of pull marketing. Okay, I think I want some flowers for my wife. I'll go over here to the flower park greenhouses and pick them up. Okay, pull. I want some shoes. Oh, there's a Payless shoe store. I use that example for a reason. I'll go over there. And the way Payless Shoe Store said is, we'll just open locations all over the place. Now, how is that working out for them? They're gone, aren't they? Now, let me describe for you what push marketing is. It's the retailer, the service provider, it's the guy who wants to get the business owner, pushing his idea out. So people can say, hey, I just discovered this guy is running an ad, for example, okay, basically it's advertising, that says we have shoes for 50% off. We should go there and check it out. That's more of a push marketing perspective. A lot of small retailers are going to, why should we advertise? Okay, well, here's the reality. Well, let me use a little example of how I've used pull marketing to generate millions. I mean, tens of millions of dollars in revenue. Back in the 90s, the wholesale distribution company my dad and I were building had a product which is basically a decorative add-on to another product. And the product that we're adding this decorative container to cost about 6 cents, but the decorative item that we had that we wanted to add to that container was 20 cents. And they used tens of millions of these items. Yeah, so you'd go to our customers and say, you want to add this decorative thing on, then you can sell more. And they say, why should I spend an extra 20 cents so I can sell more when nobody's even interested in what you got? So there was a lot of money to be made, okay? There's a lot of money being made. somebody in the organization who was brilliant and bald came up with the idea, well, it's not so important whether our customer goes out and sells this to the retailer. But if the retailer comes and asks the customer to provide it, so what we took with this decorative product, we didn't take it to our customer, we took it right to the major retailers. At that time it was Orchard Supply and Home Depot and these guys that were retailing these type of products. So suddenly what we did was we created the demand, and these chain stores went to their suppliers and said, we want this decorative container. And that supplier goes, the only one that has that is Bill's company. See how we created a pull-through marketing thing? We were the only one that had it. We had a phenomenal profit margin. And what we were able to do in the process was build a $50 million extension to our business off of that one item. That's an example of pull-through marketing. Now, think about it in today's world. Here we are 25, almost 30 years later, believe it or not. And if you think about Payless shoe stores, why did they go out of business? Or why are they going out of business? Or where would they stand in that process? They sold cheap stores. They had locations all over. They had cheap shoes. They had locations all over the place. Well, they had to sell and compete against Amazon. Okay. So what they did is took the quality out of the product to compete, and Amazon was selling better quality products for the same price. And then Amazon made it very, very easy for people to do business with them. Then Amazon had their phone app, and then Amazon did a lot of forward-thinking, pull the consumer away from Payless shoe stores. Okay. Why did Kmart go out of business? Why is Sears going out of business? Why is Penny's going out of business? Why are all these people going out of business? Because there are category killer companies out there. And a good example of that is Lyft and Uber. Okay. And they did an amazing job of pull-through marketing, because suddenly, I had too much to drink, phone app, click, right home, safe, live, no DUI. They pushed that idea out to the consumer, who then pulled the demand for those drivers. Now, if you don't have a job, you can start making money driving cars around with drunk people in the back seat of your car. I don't know if it's very profitable or not, but you can do it. And if you maintain your vehicle and you take all your tax advantages, I think it can be okay. I mean, I think you can make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. You want to be up all night running around town with drunk people in your car. You know, it's an option, right? You know, sometimes you got to pay the rent, and that's cool. Uber and Lyft have made that happen. It's a perfect example of creating a market out of thin air. Well, who did they destroy there? If you're in New York City and you're a taxi driver, if you're a taxi driver even in San Antonio, if you own let me tell you, I traveled a lot. I mean, I have traveled the world 10 times over, and I always, from about 1985 until 2014, I was pretty well on a plane every week or every other week or so. And for much of that time, I had to drive to the airport, long-term parking, sit in that long-term parking, go off, spend $15 a day for long-term parking, come back, get in my car, and drive back. And when I'm exhausted, tired, or whatever. I just went on a trip here about a month ago to San Diego to visit my dad and my grandkids, my kids, his grandkids, and here in San Antonio. And it cost me, I grabbed my phone, I hit the lift out, scheduled my arrival, got picked up, taken to the airport, cost me $12, didn't have to pay long-term parking, didn't have to fight through all the traffic. I sat there in the back seat with my iPad working while the poor guy in the front seat drove me there. Dropped me off, everything was cool, flew off, went to my trip, got to San Diego, rented a car because I had to drive all over the place, came back to the airport, flew back to San Antonio, and the second I landed, I scheduled my Uber, I prefer Lyft over Uber. I scheduled my Lyft, and car pulls up, I hop in, drives me home, another $12. Everything's grand. Okay, I couldn't do that. I mean, even in 2014, when I was still doing a lot of live presentations on at these business opportunity events where I would teach people about entrepreneurism. I had no way of getting, I didn't even know what Uber was. I didn't even know if it was created then. Well, now it is. These are examples of what's happening. The Amazon, the Uber, the Lyft, these things are category killers. These things are pull-through marketing. And text marketing is a way that your typical average guy can compete. So ROI marketing system has text marketing and phone apps, all these things that the average business out there really needs in order to be successful. There's a link below in this video. Take a look, and we hope we get to help you out. Take care.